Whether your beer is in a bottle, can, or glass, kick back and relax. It's Better on Draft.
Hello and welcome to Better on Draft. My name is Rob. I am one of your hosts today, and with me is Wendy. Hey, Wendy, what are you drinking?
Well, I'm kind of two-fisting today. I am super excited because I got to finally pick up my No Rules order. So I have a No Rules Brambleberry variant, 15%, man. It's still my favorite Vietnamese porter. But I also have an odd side melon drop pale ale, just in case that 15% can didn't do me good.
All right. So back when the lemon drop hops were new and exciting, now we've got a melon drop. Is that how that works?
Yeah. Nice. I'm not even sure. I have to look, and I'll tell you what hops are in it later.
All right. Well, brave of you to have a 15% on deck.
Yeah, you have to. I was so excited I got to pick it up. So.
Yeah, nice. I have today a She As Thick. It's hard for me to read it backwards. Raspberry, I think it is, from Renegade Brewing. And that brings me to our guest today, Chris from Renegade Brewing, of all things. Hi, Chris. What are you drinking?
Thanks for having me. I will see Wendy's double fisting and raise her a triple fist. I just finished this, which is Czech Vibes. That's our kind of light, crispy. Heading into a Mexican lager and saving our ales for ALS beer for the kind of nightcap. So
excellent.
A couple of freshies to get it going.
So Chris, I was actually out in Denver. Oh, that's been a while back now. I guess in early April was when I stopped in at Renegade. It was my second stop. So first Meow Wolf, then a different brewery right near Meow Wolf, and then on to you guys. I had a third one planned. I never made it there because I just had so much fun visiting you. But I have to start with how my night at your place started. And that is that I sat at an empty seat at the bar next to someone who was working hard at a laptop. And I talked to him and asked if he was the brewer, knew who the brewer was. And he pointed at you. So, Chris, are you the brewer?
I have to call BS on that one. I am not the brewer. I would just say about our brewer, he's one of those Wizard of Oz man behind the green curtain. He doesn't like anybody he's himself. He's an introvert, and so he always points to me and says, Chris, like, that's Chris. He does everything pretty much, which is fine. And I do. But it's just funny how that story started, because I kind of saw you guys interacting, but I had no idea that was the way it started.
Yeah. So you are not the brewer. What is your role with Renegade Brewing?
I am the general manager. I'm also a part owner. Renegade has existed since 2011, but actually shut down in 2024. We bought it late in 2024. So I would say this is kind of Renegade 2.0.
Yeah. And so I was there, well, again, in April, and had a wonderful time. And one thing that struck me was just how many taps you have. And another thing that struck me was how many of those are your taps and how many of them are guest taps, because it was kind of a lot. So can you walk us through what your board normally looks like?
Yeah, I guess to walk you through that, I got to start with when we took over. We pretty much gutted the place. We had to put a whole new system in. And while that was happening, all that construction of ripping up the old brew equipment and moving things around and adding more seating and space, knocking down walls, we needed to stay relevant. We were brewing beer at our buddies around the corner, so we had a few Renegade taps. But in order to kind of let people know that there was a new sheriff in town, we were like, let's get some cool stuff. Obviously, Russian River is an incredible brewery that has a great reputation, and got a funny story about them, and we'll get to later, I guess. But what we realized is we know what we do well, and we know what other people do well. And if you're going to have a well-rounded tap list, we can feature our stuff, but we can have some cool guest stuff around the edges, I'll call it. But when you came, we were still only about 3 months into brewing in-house. So there's been, while all this construction was going on, again, we're brewing at Buddy's Breweries around the corner, but we only got to getting going in our space very recently. So again, back then it was like 80-20 other people's stuff to our stuff. That's sort of shifted almost on its head now, where we still have some really cool stuff from other people kind of rounding out the edges of our tap list.
I will let Wendy get in here pretty soon, but when I was there, you had put a Hill Farmstead on tap, which was exciting to me because I've not gotten out there. I've sent friends out there. They say, I'm going to this area. What breweries are interesting? And I said, well, Hill Farmstead's right there, and they are now planning another trip. They're not even beer people. Like they like beer, but they're planning another trip just to go back there.
Funny enough, I grew up in northern New Jersey, and every year, like clockwork, in February for, I guess it was President's Weekend or whatever, my whole family would go up to Vermont, and we would ski Mad River Glen, and did not go to any breweries because I was a kid, and we were at Ben and Jerry's a lot when we were up there. But the funny part is, like, now I've seen so many pictures of Hill Farmstead. I would like to go there myself. I have also never been. But Aaron, the head brewer, the real head brewer, has been and kind of made friends with the right people. We talk shop to the right guys, and you know what you're talking about. It kind of turns into, well, do you guys distribute? Yeah, we have a couple, but we want stuff that really you can't get. So can you send us something fun, or and you just got to ask politely and at the right time and to the right person. And that's kind of how, again, we've just been able to get some of that cool stuff consistently out in Colorado.
Nice.
So tell us a little bit about Renegade.
Yeah, so Renegade's existed since 2011. Changed hands maybe a time or two before we got there. Shuttered in early 2024. But to tell you about Renegade, I kind of got to go back to tell you about Yule's. So Yule's, I mentioned Aaron before, the real brewer. Yule's Brewing started up in Boulder, I'm going to say in 2019. And in 2019, he opened, here's one of his anniversaries. It's a real nice mole stout. You'd probably love it, like that dark stuff.
Yeah.
But so Yule's opened 3 days before COVID shut the world down. And that sucks. Obviously nobody's coming through our front door. But you know what people were doing? They were drinking at their house. And so we survived by selling to liquor stores, doing some really fun barrel-aged projects, and just sort of making our name for ourselves as kind of like the guys who don't make a beer twice. And I loved that job. I started working for Aaron. Like, again, I didn't know anything about beer. He kind of, I'll just say, put me onto game. Taught me, hey, you should try this. Hey, what do you think about this? Try this. And truthfully, I've just kind of always been a business guy, like a GM. I do own a cannabis business as well in New York. So I have just kind of I'll just say like a hustler's mentality of when it comes to business. So when we weren't having anybody come through our front door at Yule's, it was, okay, we're going to go out and sell it to every liquor store. We'll have our cool, new, fun 4-packs. And we survived for 3 years. And as that venture was, I'll just say, ending, we met Dan Colburn, who's the other owner of Renegade. Tried to save that venture, to be honest. Like, we were talking to him, seeing if it would make sense for him to come and just kind of keep the brand alive. It didn't make sense. None of the numbers made sense. The lease didn't make sense. The whole situation was just unfortunate. And it was, I'll blame COVID, but I will say this: you learn more from failure than you do from success. And we got kicked in the nuts pretty hard. And so that ended, just kind of sad. It just faded away. And we were just another casualty. And then a couple of years went by and Renegade closed. And I'll just say it was the right opportunity, in a sense of it's a really cool up and coming area. The Broncos are building a stadium 5 blocks away, which is going to be awesome. The community is just incredible over there. They were just looking for a spot. They just needed a spot. Like they had some things come in and out, and like, it's just like we realized that this could really be something special. So again, that brand closed down, but we bought the rights to all the recipes, all the branding, and kept the name because it's a cool name. Why would you change that? Mm-hmm. And what we did is we realized, like, for that whole first year and a half, like I was talking about, where we were just kind of a guest tap house, I just call it data gathering, because what we were doing is seeing what the people in the neighborhood drink. What do they like? What button do I hit the most on that POS, right? And so then we know, okay, now we have a year and a half's worth of data. Now we're brewing our own beer. What style should we make sure we get going on first? So that was just, like, I'll just say a lesson the whole kind of time while everything was under transformation. But what was cool is, like, we kept some of their beers alive, right? Like, so Renegade's known for, they had a beer called Righteous Rye, and then they got a cease and desist because there was a Righteous Brewing. So then they made Redacted Rye, which is hilarious. And like, so that was their beer that they made for a really long time. And when we took over, got that recipe, we realized Righteous Brewing doesn't even exist anymore. So we're going to go back to Righteous Rye. And like, so we kind of made it this fun way of keeping the OGs that remember Renegade from 2011 and beyond, like, really appreciate that we still keep some of these, I'll just say, like, old fun things alive. But that being said, I've got Willy Wonka in the back, and this man can make some really good beer. You're drinking one right now, Rob. Like, that Raspricot is just something just fancy. It's cool. A milkshake IPA is just not your typical kind of drink.
I'm obsessed with milkshake IPAs.
I love that.
I like the flavor and the mouthfeel. So I don't know why. It's weird, but I like the mouthfeel of it. That's what makes me. I'm like,
drop
I would
your
do
address in the chat. But anyway, like, that's really funny because that was actually the first beer we brewed on our new system. So there's a guy named Jeremy who owns Copper Kettle Brewing out in Denver, and he helped us design the brew house start to finish. Really great guy. And that batch was like, just like, you're still learning. You have no idea how everything's gonna kind of work together. It's a really cool system that we designed so that it's a one-man operation. Aaron can be at his house on his phone, turning up temperatures, closing valves from his phone. This is 2026 here. Like, this, it's cool. The amount of, I'll just say, technology that we are able to really, like, even bring to the table. So that allows us, I'll just say, to run it lean and clean. We don't have extra labor. It's one guy that does it all. And that's a lot of pressure on him, but it's nice that he has other guy that he can pretend is the brewer and point at Rob and be like, No, that's Chris. Like I'm just a seller, man. I don't know. Like, so classic.
Now I have to.
Funny you throw something so thick through as your first thing, though.
Right. True.
Go ahead, Wendy.
Come out.
I have to throw in a question there about that because we've recently had a bunch of storms come through here in Michigan, and our power goes out like 2 or 3 times a week right now. So, but every time our power goes out, all of the electronic stuff in the house goes crazy. Like the vacuum starts going, the refrigerator's making funny noises, the furnace was making noise. Like everything in my house was beeping one day. I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So do you have some type of plan in place to deal with something like a power outage with the technology that you're using?
That's a good point. It's actually hardwired, and that took us a little bit to figure out. Like originally we were going to do it like I'll say Wi-Fi, but we ran a hard line to it just to make sure something like that doesn't really screw up. But I have Comcast, and I don't know if you guys have Comcast where you live, but it's pretty much not reliable at all. So there's times where I come into work and like that's the first thing I'm like, is the internet working? Cool. I guess what I'll say about Aaron is he is an old school guy, so he doesn't rely on the app or any of that stuff. He's very old school about the way he does things. But it was nice when he was in Italy, able to like slowly raise a temperature or close a valve or do something. Like it's cool to have it available, but I don't think it's something we use like on the regular yet.
He probably appreciates it at 3 a.m., you know.
All of a sudden, like I hear a sound like your house, Wendy. It's like, oh, it was just Aaron like closing a valve from his phone. Like,
right. Yeah, that it freaked me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, every room had a different noise going on. So tell us a little bit about the space that you're in, because you were telling me a little bit about, because apparently I have been to Renegade a long time ago. So you said there's been some changes.
yeah.
Tell us what people can expect when they come to visit.
Renegade is an old Dr. Pepper factory, actually, which is a cool little fun factoid because I thought now Dr. Pepper's brewed at different places, but I guess the neighbors next door were knocking some walls down and they found the old sign behind like one of the walls, which was really cool. So they left it
Nice.
there. So they have like a Dr. Pepper sign in their lounge a couple doors down, but it's a really old building. It's brick. It's exposed ceilings. It's cool. It's old, but it's like space. There's a lot of space that you didn't really realize, I guess, when you were there. We knocked a couple walls down. We realized we could fit the same amount of brew equipment in a tighter footprint by double stacking some things, by just sort of like consolidating the space back there, allowing the back bar that Rob sat at to even exist. But having my brewery, I'll just say split in half, equals kids and dogs up front, 21 and up in the back. And it's no disrespect. We're not trying to segregate, but it's like allowing the adults to have a little space if they would like a little space. And again, I don't advertise that. I do have one sign that says 21 and up humans this way, because that's where we brew the beer. And we don't, like there's laws with Denver and dogs. So it's a little bit of a, I'll just say gray area. But my point is we took this space that's existed for a long time. We gutted it. We knocked some walls down. We took the patio and we pretty much have tripled our capacity seating wise. And no disrespect to what was there before us, but it just wasn't comfortable in there. Like the chairs were like, I'll just call them those like old beer hall like benches that are just like too low to the ground. You're gonna probably fall off of it or like sit on one side and it's gonna seesaw somebody up like the other side. So like we fixed all that, and it wasn't cheap, and it was worth the investment though, because now people actually enjoy the space. They stay longer. They had one TV. I respect wanting to push conversation, I'm old school too. I like to just talk. You can't tell obviously already, but I do like to talk, but I also love sports. I'm a big sports guy. So I need to watch every Avalanche. Nice. Avalanche are up 1-0. I need to watch the sports. So I know we're not a sports bar, but we had to add a few more TVs, and we had to figure out how to make the menu not like a felt board, which is what it was. I'll just call it old school. So I respect what they were. We are just on a different kind of path, and we added technology in the right places. We do use Untapped for our menu board. And what's funny about Untapped is I didn't realize how many people were following us. We're so popular that this dude comes in one Saturday. He's like, bro, just saw you put on that Hill Farmstead. I was like, yeah, I just put that on 10 minutes ago. He's like, yeah, I know. I got the notification. I was like, hey, all right. Nice. Tell me more. I'd never done that before. I'm a casual untapper. I don't even know if the picture is me in the picture. It's I go on sometimes, but it's just funny when I see something that we implemented or put in, actually, I'll just say reaping the rewards. So I love the space. It's in the art district of Denver. So we have we're surrounded by art galleries, tattoo shops. I'll just call it the grunge of Denver. It's a really cool area. But you got to be a little tough to be around there too. There's definitely, it's not the nicest of areas in Denver. It's gonna be built up in the next couple of years, obviously, because the Broncos are moving their stadium 4 or 5 blocks east of us. So it's going to be great for business. They're going to kind of do this whole entertainment district, which will only bleed into us. And I obviously have big goals as Mr. Sales GM guy of getting our beer in the stadium, either as a little pop-up booth that, is a craft beer booth, or sort of on draft would be even cooler. But I want to just start with what I think we can handle, because we are just a small 10-barrel brew house that is just trying to figure it out like everybody else. But we do have a lot of cool things going for us down there.
So I know that Rob has questions. You said Untapped, and he's our Untapped guy. So, but before you move on from the art district, last time I was in Denver, I got a tattoo.
Love that.
It's beer. It's all elements. But one of our not local, but one of our breweries here in Michigan works with one of their local tattoo shops, and once every few months they will have a day where they can get certain beer related tattoos at the brewery. Have you ever done anything like that or thought about it?
I thought about doing a henna tattoo last weekend when we were doing Stacy's mom. I was like, it would be cool if they could get this Ales for ALS logo or even whatever but I didn't act on it quick enough to actually make it a reality. But since there's literally 3 tattoo shops within a 2-block walk from me, it should be a thing that it's not. So thank you for the idea. And
Just
I will
an idea.
follow up on it. But I will say one of the owners of Tattoo Shop A called me 2 weeks ago and was like, can I buy some beer from you? I was like, yeah, what do you want? He's like, I just have this kegerator and I don't even know if it works. And I was like, let me just come over and take a look, see, because I don't want my beer just going in some dirty, stinky old kegerator, right? I have a very high standard for our beer. And so I went over and yeah, it was a dirty, stinky old kegerator. And I was like, yeah, we got to get these lines replaced. And then we could talk about any some business. But so my point is that those relationships are just now forming with the guys around the corner. And I like the idea. I hope more people like the idea, because I have tattoos too and think that people should get them.
All right, I'm going to pass it over to Rob now because I know he's itching to ask the Untapped questions.
Back to Untapped. So I am a moderator there. I have I don't know, difficult relationship with Untapped. There are things I love about it, things I hate about it, but I am a moderator over there, and I saw that you curate your beer list, and I just wanted to say I really appreciate that.
Well, listen, Mr. Moderator, I have a bone to pick with you. Like, who do you know over there? Can you call the right guy? Because here's my issue with it. Renegades existed for so long, but we are not the same Renegade that's been there since 2011, right? But guess what? My score is, unfortunately, I'm still scored by what they did with their beer. No disrespect, but I know we're on a different kind of path. And so what I'm hoping, and we're talking to them, hoping that they can kind of remove some of the old things. But again, something like this is Check Vibes. They used to have Vibe Check. So in order for us to get a new rating, we changed it enough, but not too much, so people would know what it is, so that we can start afresh with things that we made that are ours with Untapped. So I do have some beef with the fact that I'm still being judged by stuff that I had nothing to do with before I was there. And I don't know if you know the right guy to kind of escalate that, but we already have tried to, just talk to the right people. But I love it as a platform because I'm comfy on it now and I understand how to use it. And like I said, it brought me some business that one time, and I'm sure other times when people get those notifications. But it is a lot of work to keep up on. I'm like OCD, so nothing ever, stays on when it's off. But there's just the kind of like needing to in live time take things off and move them. It's a process, but it's worth it in my opinion. I think it's valuable for us.
I know there's quite a few people who use it as research when they're figuring out where to go, especially if they're going out for beer or something like that. Yeah. And to be a wonk, the way that would normally be handled with your brewery is that the old Renegade would have closed. So it would have been a closed brewery. All the beers would have gone out of production. A new Renegade brewery would have been open, same location, same name, and then all the beers coming in would be new. So
see, when it comes to Instagram, I want to keep all the old brewery stuff. I want all those followers. Let me get all those followers. But when it comes to Untapped, I want to start fresh. So I hear you, and maybe there's a way we can do it, but it's probably too late now.
Yeah, it might be kind of hairy to untangle all that at this point.
One thing that I will say about Untapped, and I say it all the time, is that I know a lot of people, because it's just normal people, not necessarily people that actually know things about beer, the ratings are, I never trust a rating.
So
that's like Yelp too, right? It's like you can take it with a grain of salt. But
and I actually stopped rating beers. If I put a rating on a beer, it's because I need to remember that I liked it for an article that we're writing or something that I need to know about. But generally, or if it's super fantastic, then I'll put some stars on there so that I know, go back and have that one again if you get a chance. When I go back and look at ratings that I did 15 years ago, I'll try it something else again, and I'm like, I didn't like that one at all back then. But now I'm like, this is really good.
That's it, right?
Everybody's a critic, right? You're just giving them a platform to, I'll call it Pokemon. Gotta catch them all, gotta drink them all, whatever it is. Like, people just like that shit. And honestly, I don't use it enough. And what I mean by that is there's no IPA badge for Renegade yet if you drink 3 of our IPAs, which I'm sure the Pokemon collectors out there would love stuff like that to get the badge. Rob probably got every badge. If we had badges when he was there, he probably and unintentionally, but he intentionally probably collected every badge of the whatever.
I did work around that menu.
Did a great job.
I'm horrible about checking.
We're at Elevation in Denver, right? So we're a mile high. That's the whole thing. So people come in and rent out our back new private bar, and I see him after 1-2 beers. He's already leaning on the bar. Like, hey man, where are you from? Oh, I'm from the East Coast. Yeah, I know. Because I know that you have not drank at Elevation, and you have not drank one of these IPAs at Elevation for sure. So that is something I'm a responsible owner and GM. I don't want people having a bad time. So I push the water. I push water on myself often. And so like I am, we want you to have a good time, but like not at the expense of not feeling good.
Right.
Oh, so that it leads me to, though, flight or no flight? Where do you stand?
This is a funny one because as much as Aaron, the head brewer, doesn't like to be the guy, I learned everything I know from him. So I get all of the way I do things from him. And he is the guy that knows all of these, I'll just say, the details about beer. We do not have a flight board. And it's kind of on purpose because when people ask, do you do flights? Our 42 taps, yes, because we kind of talked about it earlier, that's how many we have. If anything is on draft, it can likely be in a 5-ounce pour. So there's no flight board. There's no rules. You can get 1, you can get 10, as long as you're not leaning on the bar after the second. But I like that it's kind of, I'll just say, open-ended. It allows me the chance to talk to customers and be like, well, like, because that's literally the question I get the most. And I'm not calling them custies. I'm calling them tourists, people that have never been to our brewery before. They're coming in. We have 13 to 15 of our beers, and they want to try them all. Now, Rob does not do this flight thing. He just goes for the full-size pour and still somehow made his way around the menu. So that's why I was like, yeah, I mess with you, dude. I'll do this podcast with you, no problem. Like, I know you can handle your stuff. So, like, all the respect to the guy in the left over there. But to answer your question, no, we don't actually like do a official flight board.
But you do have a
small
5-ounce pour
option
that people could essentially create their own flights.
Here's the issue. Go ahead. Sorry.
I am 100% the tourist.
Cool. It's okay.
When I go to a new brewery, I want to try all the beers.
Same.
As many beers as I can.
Same.
Because I don't know when I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
So I get that. But yeah.
Some of our stouts and sours are a 6-ounce pour. So I just kind of feel weird being like, do you want to pay a few dollars less for a 5-ounce pour? It's like, it's not really worth it. And I'm honest with people. And so I kind of am like, it makes sense to get those little 5-ounces with the lagers, with the IPAs, of course. But when it comes to the stouts and the sours, I'm just kind of like, I don't want you to feel like I'm getting one off on you. So please just like, let me explain it. And if you still want the smaller size, sure. But like, I'd rather that for only $2 more, you could get, a bigger, if it's something that you think you're going to like.
I think also when I was there, was it Dan that I was talking to the whole
Dan
night?
is the other owner. So there's me, Aaron, and Dan. And honestly, we're the 3 musketeers because we're all good at something very different. But I'll get into that later if you want to. But go ahead, say what you're going to say about it.
Well, Dan kept me entertained very much, but he was the one who kept. He said, "Rob needs a sample of this," and someone would bring me a sample and say, "No, he needs a bigger sample."
Yeah, that's actually true. But I'm happy he did that because, like, again, you were working your way around the menu. But would you have really committed to like a 16% stout while you still had maybe somewhere else to be? Like, it was like,
no,
you just wanted a little taste of that though, which was perfect. And like, I'll just break some stigmas here. Like, when people walk up and say, can I get a taste of this? Can I get a taste of that? Listen, I want you to find something that you like. Okay. So I don't want you to feel like that you can't ask that question. But I also know when you're full of shit and you just want a little bit of a sip of like everything. Like it's just kind of like a be respectful kind of thing. Like, certain beers are very expensive to make and we just can't do a little sip of them. But other times I just want you to find something you like. I want you to be happy with what you get. So if it takes you getting a little sip to get you there, and that's not what we were doing with you. I'm just saying, like, I don't know why that triggered a something I needed to say with like customers, but like, I just feel like it's one of those where I think people feel like awkward asking for it sometimes. And again, if you are disrespectful and asking to try every heavy, expensive beer on the menu, you're a jerk. But if you're like politely trying to just get a sip of something so that you can make sure you're going to commit to a not cheap, whatever it is, like, so I see the balance, and, I try and always put myself as the customer as well. Like, another example, which is off topic, but kind of similar to this, is like when we sell our to-go beer, I don't ask for a tip. I didn't do anything. You're getting something out of the fridge and you're leaving. I ask, would you like a receipt? That's it. I'm not flipping the thing around, and it's a small thing, but people just don't want to be annoyed, and like everything's a tip these days, and it's like, you got that out of the fridge. I did nothing. I stocked that fridge, sure, maybe, but like, so I don't know. I'm talking about etiquette and things that like I have done, and I've realized people have really like appreciated that I'm not turning the iPad around for a tip on a to-go 4-pack. That was the only thing you came in for. You know what I mean? Like, because we do a lot of to-go business. We have just a 3-prong fridge. There's just no liquor stores around where we are. So we're kind of like the liquor store, which is great. And we have the license for that. So we can have wine for sale. We have our beer for sale. We have some guest, like Russian River stuff for sale as well.
So I did actually get this out of your fridge, and this is totally on me. I had been drinking.
On that? I'm just kidding.
I had been drinking. I thought it was a 4-pack. I really thought it was a 4-pack. And so I went to grab where the 4-pack grabber would be. And
it's a 2.
It's a 2, and so it fell out. But I took it home.
So I'll talk about that real quick, because I am kind of embarrassed by that. But since that
was on me totally.
Well, but also it's a very expensive beer. Milkshake IPAs aren't cheap with the ingredients. We use real stuff, real ingredients. Like, and we realized the only way we could really can this up and sell it is as a 2-pack. So and that's and I know it's like
acceptable,
but it was still like I still feel weird that it's like almost the cost of a 4-pack and it's only a 2-pack. So
it was only that it was up at the top shelf, and I really thought it was just the 4, because it's the hard plastic holder on there.
Well, I'm the guy who cut those in half, and that's why they
yeah. So that was what happened. I do have dented cans, but I am still happy that I got it home because it's delicious.
So we made 2. We took the same batch and split it into 2. There's a Raspricot, which he's drinking now, and then that's the boysenberry. Both are delicious in their own way. The boysenberry is more, I'll just say, sweet. It smells and tastes sweet, but the Raspricot is more on the sour side. It's just tartar. It has but it's like from the fruit. It's not from anything we did or added. It's like the fruit made it that way. And like, I'm not a guy who's eating boysenberries, left and right, but I think it's delicious. Like that, I'm sure. Is that the next one you're going to get to, the boysenberry one? Nice.
These have been sitting in my fridge for almost 2 months. Wait for this.
I'm very proud of you for having self-control and
I don't know I could do it. Not gonna lie.
I have a special shelf on the fridge where I don't look. I have a mental note on when to.
Exactly.
I need that. I have to hide them someplace.
Yeah. I have a main lunch on that shelf too.
Oh, nice.
Just because I don't always find them.
Did you get that from us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we get their stuff a lot. I really like their beer.
Yeah. No, we get it here once in a while. It's getting more common.
Nice.
Yeah.
Crap. Sorry, dead air. That's horrible podcasting. But you were talking about.
How dare we drink our beer?
No, it was I am drinking No Rules. So, no, my question was, so you took your 2-pack and you took 2 different flavors and put them into one 2-pack?
Yes, ma'am.
I love that.
I'm a variety man myself. I love like you. I go into place and I want to try everything too. So I feel that. And I also realized that like we just now started canning in house, but we had been canning kind of at one of our buddies' breweries. But I realized like, again, I just listen to people. Like I'm not going to change because of what one person says, but if I start hearing the same thing a lot, I'm kind of like, you know what, that guy's got a good, or like this point is clearly a good point. And one of the things they kept saying is, I wish I could have a 4-pack mixie of all of your stuff. So done, no problem. So I created that real quick. But now I'll just say I took it to the next level. We just have singles of all of our cans, and you can build your own. If you wanna get a 4-pack like the and build your own, the price makes sense. We give like 30% off, but it's like single price, and then with a discount, it kind of makes it an expensive 4-pack. But now you have all
Still
of the
worth
things
it.
that you want. And again, I'm just a variety guy, and I want everybody else to have the choice to get whatever they want. Like, this is a very heavy West Coast IPA, and this is a light Mexican lager, but I'm a man of both phases. So it all kind of works out.
Since you brought it up, let's talk about Stacy's mom.
Stacy's mom is a great, awesome thing. I love talking about it, so I would love to talk about it some more. So how Stacy's mom started is Dan, the one owner, his next door neighbor, her name is Stacy. When she found out that he was buying a brewery, and this is way back before we had even ripped up the brew house or done any of the construction, she was like, hey, you have to check out this program. It's called Ales for ALS. They send you the hops for free, and then you make a beer with their hops, the hop blend that they created, and then you donate $1 back from each beer back to ALS research. And my knowledge of ALS goes to Lou Gehrig and maybe dumping an ice bucket on my head 10 years ago, but I didn't really have like a personal connection to it. But it was interesting that Stacy, who introduced Dan to it, her mother passed from it. So as not as a joke, but in our meeting, I was like, oh, Stacy's mom, like that song from the 90s. It got back to Stacy. She thought it was hilarious. She said, let's just go with it. That's really funny and like a way to like honor her mom. So we created the beer. We got on with Ales for ALS. They sent the hops. It's a blend. So it's an interesting blend. Like, again, Aaron is such a particular brewer that now I'm going to go say, hey, use this thing that you've never tried before and make a beer. Like, that's like a hard thing to ask him to do. So it was a very like tough conversation to be like, let's figure this out. And he added his own, I'll just say, flavor touch to it. He's a chef. He's constantly like, okay, I'll take their hop blend and I'll do this to it and I'll add that. And like, so what came out of it was a 7.8% West Coast IPA, delicious. But more than the beer was like the day that we released it was one of the like, just like Stacy was there from the minute we opened the door till the minute we closed the door. I'll just say that. And the way she was just like thanking everybody who was drinking the beer, we gave a ton of money back to ALS, and that is continuing now until that beer is gone. Every pour is $1 back to ALS research. So I didn't realize that my mom and my dad had a personal connection to this. Like, they've both lost close friends to ALS, and like that just hit me hard. I was like, man, I'm doing something good just because I like doing something good. And here we are, just like giving back in the right way, right? Like it was really a cool thing to be a part of. And truthfully, that was last weekend, because it's funny, May is ALS month, which is awesome. We're doing it every year. I'm just saying it now. I'm pushing for it to be an every year thing. They flew out from California. They had some people on site doing giveaways. My dog is playing with the ALS beer toy that they gave me, which is really cool. Like, and it was just a great day. Yeah, sure, the sales were good, but I don't care about that. Like, the vibes were good. The energy was good. People were like just supportive of each other. Like, maybe we can get a cause if we're gonna like donate money, and like it feels good to do something good is I guess what I'm trying to get at. And like, I didn't realize how much of an impact we're just making a beer. It's fine. Like, but I'm like, getting emotional about it. It's a very nice cause, but truthfully, that's like kind of the tip of the iceberg of what we try and do to, I'll just say, give back to our local community. Like I mentioned, it's this small little grungy area of Denver, but we do something called Renegade Gives Back, which is like kind of a monthly program. We could get to that later or now, but it's
talk about it now.
the like Renegade Gives Back is something that it just started as like, how do we make Mondays better? It was just like us talking at a meeting, and it was like, well, if we gave a percentage back of sales, you don't want to do stuff just to do it, but when you do stuff with a cause, now all of a sudden, for example, they used to be called Max Fund. Now they're called True Companion. They are about 3 blocks from our brewery. It's a dog and cat adoption facility. So they were, I think the first month, we just moved in, like, let's do this. And like, we gave 10% back of sales every Monday of that month back to them. They're hyper local, right down the street. They're a cause that I fuck with. I have a dog and a cat. They are people that I really like. They're just doing a good work. And so they kind of got us off on the right foot where, sure, the give back was cool on those Mondays of like a percentage of sales. But now people that have never been exposed to us, because now they blasted out to all of their members, go to Renegade on Mondays because we're getting 10% of sales back. So now all this whole network of people that have never been here before are showing up and spending money with us. Obviously, we're giving some of that back, but givey takesies. You got to kind of give to get. And so what was even cool about them is like we did at the end of the month, we did the Adoptagon. So it was a octagon of adoptable dogs in the front of the brewery. And like, it was just an event. It was fun. It was cool to like, I cannot bring another dog home. My girlfriend would love that, but I cannot. I have one, but like it was just cool to be a part of something, A, raising money for them, B, giving them a chance to display the adoptable dogs. And we got a couple dogs adopted that day, which was awesome. Super proud of that. And then 3 months later, I did a cat one. They brought all the cats and they did like a cat, like mobile cat thing that just pulled up right where the food truck usually goes. And we were doing cats. So it's like, it sounds silly, but the only way you're going to really, well, again, this brand's existed for a long time, but we wanted to let everybody know we're not the good old boys of previous regime. We are like new ownership that actually gives a shit. And we're in this. Like, Aaron makes the beer. I'm here. Dan's there all the time. Like, we're here, and we are part of this community, and like we're going to continue to, I'll just say, make our mark on the community. And like, so every month we change the cause, but it's always something hyper local. It's always something that like means something to either, and we have a donation, or not a donation, a form on our website where you can nominate, not donate, nominate causes that are important to you, but we do like to keep it to the Denver area and to things that are like, but that being said, like ALS obviously, is our cause for the next 2 months, and that's cool. And like, we try and like do things that match with what's going on in the world, or things that are kind of present with. And like, there's always something going on in Denver. There's always a cause that could use some help. We could use like a boost. But again, we give them a chance to come out, have a night kind of maybe with their members or with the people that are on their mailing list. And it's mutually beneficial. Sure, I have to give the donation every month, but it's now all these people that have never been there before are now exposed to our, damn, this place is cool. These guys have it going on. They've got a really cool list, like, and it's just a nice place to be. So it's, for us, like, Renegade had a reputation, and we need like to let people know that it's kind of a new sheriff in town. If that makes any sense.
It does. And speaking of community, I was there on a First Friday. So what is First Friday?
First Friday is a blessing and a curse, but mostly a blessing. So all those art galleries I kind of mentioned, yeah, tattoo shops, but art galleries too, open their doors wide open on First Friday. So this is a year-round thing that happens. It happens because it's like a chance for you to see the art that they have. I think it's just like their chance to open the doors. But what it's turned into is like a festival, kind of. There's food trucks lining the streets. There's vendors. It's very well organized for being a very grassrootsy thing. And I'm on these like committees now, so I kind of like see both sides of it now, which is interesting. But it's hard to make an event stay cool if it's too organized, because like, you know, people kind of are like, you know, what, like, wait, I got to pay to be a vendor here? What do you do? But I'll be honest, because they pay, we can now have security, and we can make sure that like so it's like a little bit of a give and take. There was a lot of pushback originally about First Friday because it was getting so organized, but because of that organization, it's our busiest day of every single month. No questions asked, hands down. So I have all hands on deck. Every one of my bartenders has to work. I'm sorry, guys, but like, it's like usually like just I work the whole day. It's just one of those, like, you just kind of know to strap in. And it's funny, Rob, that I met you that day, because usually I don't have time for chit chat. I don't have time to be just like talking about beers or getting you little samples. But like, it was a great busy day, but like it was still like I give all the love and all the shout outs to my team, because everybody that works there has continued working there from the beginning, and they just do an awesome job. Like I know how to pour some beer, but they are like good at pouring beer. And like you saw, we're just a well-oiled machine. Things were just working the way they needed to work. But what's crazy is we go from that, which I'll just call mayhem, to like Monday is like maybe kind of chill, and like one person can work it. Like it's crazy how we just kind of, it's getting busier obviously on the slower days, but like it's just crazy how First Fridays, unless the weather is bad or it's 4th of July, which it was last year, it happened to land on 4th of July. If the weather's snowing or raining, kind of a slower one, but you saw it. It is just bumping. And it's because they come in, they get a beer, and then they go out to the 3 art galleries, and then they come back, they get another beer. Like, it's like a really cool, just kind of like vibe. People are having a good time. The energy's good. We, again, it's our busiest day of every single month. And August seems to be the one that is the busiest one of the year, probably because the weather's nice. They shut down the streets in August. So they shut down the side streets for the other ones, but they shut down the main street for August. City of Denver won't let them do that every month, but it would go over well. They just won't, because it's such a main street. But for August, they do let them do it. But it just leads to people just constantly just like having a great time. And there's food trucks. I want to give a quick shout out to one of my favorite food trucks. His name is Mark. It's Charstone Pizza. They are like this thin crust. I'm from New Jersey, okay? So let me just start with that. I live in Colorado. We don't have any pizza or bagels out here that touch what we used to do in New Jersey. I met Mark. I said, "Oh, I'm from New Jersey." He goes, "Me too." I go, "Oh, where are you from?" He goes, "Oakland." I go, "Wyckoff." And it was like literally the town next to each other. So the pizza that we grew up eating was the same, you know, and he's like, "I take my pizza seriously." I go, "Me too." You know, it was just like a funny kind of relationship that started like organically. And now he's one of my most consistent, because we do rotating food trucks at the brewery. We have some snacky stuff that we do, but when it's not a First Friday, we usually have one truck out front. But when it's a First Friday, the whole street is lined with different food trucks. So it's just it's a great time. Like, thankful that they keep us fed too, because I would have no time to get anything to eat, but they always are like bringing snacks in for us. And I really appreciate just kind of the community vibe of it all.
Yeah, I was going to say, I showed up probably, I'm going to say 2 p.m. roughly. And
that's when we open, by the way. Shut up as we open the door, but it might have stayed till closed. But go ahead, keep going. Sorry.
And I had some friends coming down to meet me, and we had a great time. But it was nice. It was quiet and wonderful. We were back in the 21 plus area, and my friends, they came. They had a couple of beers. They left because they live in the area. They have lives. I was on vacation in the area. Well, right. I was there for work, but day off in the area. So it was great for me. But towards the end of the night, it was just, I knew there was a lot of stuff going on around me. I was having such a wonderful time talking to Dan mostly, and just in general. And there was so many people like milling around, having beers. Just, it was great I was back into that.
And that's the vibe. And it honestly, we close at 11 on those nights, and I could probably stay open till like 1, but it's just like, my staff is.
You want to go home?
We need to go home. Like, we're not that kind of place, like it's cool every once in a while, but like we like, it's funny how the evolution of the day goes too. It's like, is it gonna be busy? Nah, probably not. Like, it's probably just gonna like, maybe it'll just stay and then all of a sudden 6:30 hits and it's just like, woo! Doesn't stop from 6:30 until 10:30. 4 hours of just like, everybody's in your face, everybody needs a beer, which is great. But here's my problem with First Fridays, just to talk about it for 1 second. We use glassware, obviously. I told you I care about the quality of my beer. That means I care about the quality of my glassware. That means I care about using the right glassware for right styles of beer. And what that also means is when we're a madhouse like that, it's just tough to like keep up with all the glassware, and like we have one little dishwasher. Like, so I do go to plastic sometimes. And I just want to say that doesn't mean I don't care about the quality of my beer. And I'm just sorry, Wendy, maybe cover your ears. I don't know. Like, but like, it's just for those bit of time to get through like the craziness. But I still feel like guilty, I'll say, about it. But
I'm okay with it. I have one question though. Are they allowed to like take the beer from your brewery when they go to the art galleries?
No, unfortunately. So
okay, so they still have to drink it there.
Kind of, but no. Like the one they have from us poured from the tap, no. But we do have a to-go fridge with a ton of stuff that's already packaged, and they are welcome to take that and leave. And I have no idea what they do once they leave.
Right.
Not my chair, not my problem. But but anything they get on draft from us, we do have a security guard kind of right by the front door, because that protects our liquor license. Like, because technically we're not allowed to leave with any of that stuff. But you think, I have a plastic cup, I can leave. Like, no. Like, even if you put it under your shirt, you still can't leave. Like, but
you can in Indianapolis. Just
we have it's a
parts
big
of Denver
thing.
You are allowed to do that, and Austin, Texas, New Orleans, obviously. Like, there's parts you can. In Denver, they have like 3 places that you are allowed to outside consume. We, as in Arts District, isn't one of those yet, but I hear grumblings and things going on.
Well, especially if you guys do a once-a-week festival.
That combined once a month, but that combined with the Broncos coming soon, I think this might be like an area that they want to let people have a beverage outside. Again,
it's a big thing here in Michigan.
Don't be a stew-nod. Don't it's easy to say when you're responsible, but First Fridays also bring out some of the crazies. They bring out people that, have never had alcohol before. And it's their first timers. And it's like, whoa, and we have good bathrooms. So they're clearly coming to use a bathroom and get a beer. And it's like, you got to make sure that guy's good. Like, so it's important that we kind of stay on our game more on First Friday.
You do have good bathrooms with great artwork.
Thank you. I'll pretty much give him a quick shout out. So Joe is a good friend of mine. He makes all of our merch and did our bathrooms. This is just fun and crazy. This is a gator that he made for us, but there's just a lot going on. There's always something fun and new to find, but this is what our bathroom walls look like. So it's just like him kind of just freestyling it's kind of like if AI just like jambled some stuff together, but it's like an actual human doing it. Like it doesn't make sense sometimes. But that's the beauty of it, I think, and why I love it so much. But Joe's a close friend of mine, and it's kind of funny how I met him. I was eating at a food truck and talking to the owner of the food truck about, hey, I'd love to have you kind of come be a food truck at Renegade. We had just bought the place. We hadn't even moved in. I don't even think I had a key yet. But I was like talking to this food truck, like, hey, man, I'd love to have you at Renegade. And Joe is just doodling on the food truck because the food truck hired him to like draw on the side of it. And he comes around the corner and goes, did you say Renegade? I was like, yeah. He goes, I live 2 blocks away. And I was like, oh, nice. You know, and it just kind of happened organically. We are just homies now. He's the coolest dude, and he makes the coolest, like, fun, just
Love
stuff.
it.
And, like, so when we were doing all that construction, I put up a fake wall, and I just didn't want people seeing all the stuff we were doing behind. I said, Joe, don't draw anything cool because I'm going to knock this wall down. I can't have – I just didn't want him, like, wasting his time. Of course, he drew the coolest fucking shit. So, like, we had – so now we cut it into 3 pieces and we put it up in the ceiling of the brewery. So you'll see, like, I'll just call it, like, the history of, like, that used to be a wall. Wait, right over there. And, like, that just – I don't know. It's real. It gives us some life. It gives us some history. And, like, Joe actually did this glass for the – Colorado does a pint day every year.
Awesome.
where we get like a glass, and the governor of Colorado came to our brewery and shook Joe's hand in front of his artwork. So me, the governor, and Joe were in the bathroom of Renegade Brewing, just talking artwork, and yes, of course, like,
Taking a picture with the artwork.
And, like, it's just funny because it like we're just not politics guys, but we're with the governor, like in the bathroom, just kind of like a funny like experience, I'll say, for both of us. But what a great time! Like, so Joe's like done. I mean, this glass is, there's so much going on. It's like so fun, but it was for Colorado's 150 and USA's 250. So it was just, that was the theme this year. All the breweries in the Colorado Brewers Guild got the glasses, and it was just it's one of our busiest days. Just people, you bought a Renegade beer, you got the glass for free. You know, it was a great giveaway. It was worth, I'll just say, the amount of money we spent on the glasses, like, was worth again, just what a fun day. People were coming in. Joe was shaking hands and kissing babies in front of the brewery, and like the governor's shaking my hand. I'm like, yeah, this is how we roll over here. You know, it was just it was a great day full of like, just, I don't know, excitement.
Oh, I love it. So, real quick, because I know Rob's going to start telling us soon that we got to wrap it up. I want to talk about the other community stuff, because I 100% believe that the breweries that are going to last through all this tumultuous times are the ones that plant roots in their community. So what other type of events are you having at your brewery right now? I will tell you that I found one that definitely piqued my curiosity, because I am an avid home chef.
Was it the ravioli class, or was it the
so it started the ravioli class, but then I looked into it and you've got dumplings and other types of pasta. Yeah. I'm like, what? How did that happen?
Pretty awesomely, I'll say. Like, I'll say with the community part, like, we're situated right dab in the center of residential over here, people that can walk to our brewery, and businesses, all those art galleries and stuff that we've talked about. So that's awesome, because now we have people that are coming in on the regular. I know everybody's name. That's the first most important thing. It's like, I don't know right away. It takes me a little bit to get people's names, but if you know what I don't know their name, but I know what they're drinking. And that's right. More important, right? And like, so I kind of, I'll just say I built it organically, real. I'm not a fake dude. If you kind of can tell how I talk, like I'm very, you get what you get with me. And I think people like that about like me, that I'm just kind of raw and real. And I've helped kind of create this vibe. But it started because I was realizing, how am I going to make these Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, like the slower days, busier? Because Monday was already good. We got the Renegade Gives Back going. And I started looking around at like other breweries. What are they doing? Classes. And there's a lot of platforms that exist out there. I'll give a couple of them a shout out. There's Koku Social, there's Homesy, and the third one is Class Pop. And all three of them are kind of different in their own way. But what they allow is a creator to do what they create and us to fill a space that might have been empty. So that back bar that I built that Rob was sitting at is empty on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So why not hold a ravioli class? Now, are you going to fill a ravioli class every week? That's kind of a tough ask. So what I did is I took everything and I threw it at the wall. And some shit stuck and some shit didn't. Some
like
shit,
homemade pasta.
exactly. Like that we did what once and it was like, oh, the pasta stuck to the wall. Yeah, exactly. But my point is like some things we did it, we tried it, kind of didn't really work or like didn't really catch on. We'll try it again maybe in a couple months. But like now, if you look at my calendar, there's not a day of the week where there isn't something going on. Whether that's a beer release tomorrow or a class on Sunday. We do like insect pinning. We did a build your own shot ski one time. That was a cool one. We've done like everything from read the tea leaves, which has nothing to do with beer, but like that's just going on in the back. Cool. Just don't like put a curse on us or anything. Like we're cool.
Fortune tellers like beer too.
Yeah, totally fine. And like, but it's the variety. We do a sign language class. We do jewelry making. We do art classes. And that's what's nice about being in the art district because it kind of all goes together. I reach out to these art galleries. I'm like, hey, why don't you come pop up over here and do a class over here, you know? And like, there's just camaraderie. I have wall space. I don't want Joe's art everywhere. So I go to the gallery. Hey, do you guys want to put up some art here? And that's like some community shit right there. Like, just like, hey, why don't like we like rotate through who is on our back wall? Like, and so I have 3 spots where I rotate through, you know, different people's arts in the brewery, but that's just, I'll just say reading the room, like reading the neighborhood, like being like, okay, like we should probably, like we're in the arts district. We should lean into this, you know, like, so understanding that. But the classes kind of, I'll say came organically, but because certain ones have worked, they've now continued to stay on and be a consistent thing. So I book like almost 2 to 3 months ahead now, which is great that I have like enough things going on that I can like fill up our calendar. And I try and do that. That first Friday is the busiest day of our month, like I told you, but guess what's one of our slowest days of the month? First Saturday, because everybody blew their load the night before. And like, it's just funny that like now I've just started adding fun stuff. A pop-up cookie vendor. I did some other like free chair massage, like just like random stuff that will maybe bring you in on a day you were like, I'm hungover, like, oh, but they're doing free Belgian waffles. We got to get over there. You know? So like I'll just say I always keep it hot. I'm never bored. I'm never boring. There's always something going on, but that's why we're busy. And that's why there's people coming through the door. And it's not easy. I can't believe it's taken me this long to give her a shout out, but our social media manager is a godsend. I love everything she does for us. She does all the posters. She creates all of the assets. I feed her the things, but she then takes them and makes them beautiful and makes people actually want to sign up for them. And I just love our relationship. We have a great working relationship, and she just does so much to make, I'll just say, my vision into a nice, clean, you know, I'm scattered. She's not, you know, it's great. So it's nice. We all balance each other very well.
I saw speed puzzling, and that is one that is near and dear to my brother.
Speed puzzling is a funny one. Let me tell you about that. It's like when you were in school, they make you keep your paper upside down. They make you keep the puzzle upside down. So nobody knows what the picture is until it's like go, and then they flip it over. No disrespect, but some of these teams brought their own lights, because they wanted extra light on the table. I was like, they're definitely going to win, you know, just 'cause they were like so serious about it. But also like I thought we would maybe get 1 or 2 teams to sign up for the speed puzzling. We've had 9 or 10 teams every single time we've done it. And we do it on a Friday night. So you think like, oh, isn't Friday busy enough? We get this Friday crowd right after work. And then we get like a Friday late crowd. We do speed puzzling right in the middle. And it's great for us because like they just stay longer. It's been like a really, really nice thing that's kind of enhanced those. And I do it second Friday, which is funny. So there's a little consistency in my brain. My like OCD brain needs things to be on like
scheduled.
Yeah, so like, we know first Fridays are going to be nuts. Well, second Fridays are going to be puzzles. So it's
what
just
happens?
Like kind of simple.
What happens in those weird months where there are 5 Fridays?
We just roll with it. But we find other stuff. We do drag bingo. We do comedy shows. Like there's always like some things are free, I'll say, or maybe help make me money, but some things cost money. You know, it's not free to put some of these things on, but you start doing the math on it. You try it a couple times, you spend the money on it a couple times, and then you look and you're like, oh, we used to do $2,000 on a Friday. Now we're doing 3. Huh. It only cost us $150 for what, you know, whatever it is. Like the math just mathed. And sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes we pull shit and we don't do it again. But you have to try. And you have to try a couple different times, different days of the week. Even with some of these classes, I'll do a jewelry class on a Monday. We fill the thing. We do it on a Friday. Nobody comes. It's funny. It's like there's some, but I never would have known that unless I tried both dates, right? So I had to kind of just like see what stuck. Like I said, throw all that stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Love it.
All right. Well,
Michigan breweries. Right. Why are we not doing speed puzzling?
Speed puzzling.
I got the connect. I got the guy.
Damn it, buddies.
You want the email? I got the guy.
Wendy was right. I am going to make us wrap it up because we are way over 1:11. Oh my goodness. But we're still going to do a final question because you seem game for it. So we're going to keep going. We usually finish up with a final question that may or may not be related to beer, brewing, etc. So I will go with my old standard of what was the last board game that you played?
So
or tabletop game.
No, that's great. Because there's a lot of crossover with breweries and tabletop games, which I never realized until like
yes there is.
But like some of our regulars come in on Saturday. It's a white wine and a righteous rye, and they've got their table going, and they're already into a game before I can even bring the beer over. But I am not usually that guy. I'm a hockey guy. I play hockey. I'm a video game guy. I sometimes play PS5. But what I have played recently was my staff, all the bartenders were like, hey, let's do a game night. And I was like, sure, it sounds great. So, we closed at 11. We kind of just locked the front door, and all of the bartenders and I just did like a fun game night. So I don't know the name of it. It was like something about Hitler. So it was kind of a little weird.
Secret Hitler.
It was awesome. Like it was fun, but it was a little weird, but I didn't get it till about 3/4 of the way through. Yeah. And then I understood it. But like for the first part, I was totally lost, but I enjoyed it. And it was just nice to spend time with my bartenders because we always work and we see each other at work. That's great. But it's nice to not be working and just kind of hang out and shoot the shit. So.
Yeah, that sounds like Secret Hitler. It is a social deduction game.
Yeah. And but by the end, I was like, oh, okay, whoa. Like, I wish I was paying attention in the beginning because I would have understood a lot more. But
right.
That was a good time for sure.
Excellent.
So normally I would ask you something about Renegade, but I'm curious because you mentioned, you kind of just dropped in there that you also have a cannabis company in New York City or New York. So what is for people who are going to New York, what pizza place do you tell them they should go to? Because pizza is important.
Pizza is very important. But it's funny because since I'm like, and there's a weird rivalry in New Jersey. It's like, or
true
tri-state area. It's like Connecticut thinks they're the best. New York thinks they're the best. Jersey is the best. But so I say it like that because I'm joking.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
honestly, since I've lived out here, I don't keep up with the jive back there. Like I kind of like removed myself from that. But there was a place in the town next to me called Tony's, and I would give them my kind of first suggestion. I'm from North Jersey too, so that's very close
Okay.
to New York.
Mm-hmm.
But Tony's would be my answer to that.
All right.
I was working in Albany, New York, so not
Nice.
New York City. And the guy I was working with, he grew up in, I'm going to say Brooklyn. I'm pretty sure it was Brooklyn. And he's one day for lunch, he was just thrilled to take me to this pizza place in Albany, New York. He said they get water from Brooklyn and they bring it out here and they make it the pizza.
I got to respect that, because when we had the brewery in Boulder, we're getting our water from like the creek. It was like, woo, this water was, but now, we're in Denver now. We had to kind of like learn what our water was before we start making beer with it. Right. And
yeah.
I didn't realize the importance of that. Obviously, I leave that to the guy who's good at that. But it was funny when we started going to, I mentioned a couple of times, we went to our friends' breweries to make some beer. We had to like find out their water profile first, and some of these guys like didn't even know it yet. And we were like, "Whoa, like it's kind of an important thing you might want to figure out." But I realized like there are so many, I'll just say like discrepancies between the different types of water that like, yeah, Jersey's good at bagels and pizza, and so is New York and all that. But like same with beer. It's kind of funny, like we're talking about beer because I taste these beers from Vermont, from Maine. And I'm like, fucking clean air up there, clean water up there, baby. You can kind of taste it in the beer, which I hope people say about our beer too. Like, it's Colorado. We have this nice, like, I'll just say like mile high action going on. But I hope you can taste the clean air and the altitude in the beer.
Yeah, I think so. All right, Chris, we are going to wrap up. Do you have anything coming up that you would like people to know about, that you would like to plug, that you would like to let us know about?
The ALS beer is still on. It'll be on for another 2 months. I'm really proud of that one, and that would be the one I would love people to just kind of come in and support. But really, it's just like we're building something special, and you can come in and just like, it's so funny how you found out just kind of, I'll just say casually, but like you were on your path and happened to stumble on it, but it clearly made enough of an impression on you to want to at least have a conversation. And that's kind of my goal, is just like make an impression on people, give them a safe, comfy place to have a couple beers where they can be themselves and in a cool environment. So good beer, good environment, good people. It's the trifecta. If you can get all that going, I think you'll be all right.
And I'll add to that, if you like weird artsy stuff, then Meow Wolf is really not that far away, and it is pretty amazing.
Totally.
That's how I started my day. It was great.
Love that.
Wendy, what have you got coming up that you want to talk about?
Oh, well, I don't really want to talk about it a whole lot, but I do have a cruise to the Bahamas coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm hoping to hit a women-owned brewery in the Bahamas in Nassau. And then I'm going to be in Texas later in the month of June. So I think both of us are going to be out of town a lot in June, right, Rob?
I am going to be in Australia for most of June,
What?
yes.
Sick. For work or for play?
For fun. My son moved to Australia in December and on a 3-year assignment, and I'm going down to visit him with my family.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm so excited for it. Gonna have a great time. Along with that, so
before you continue, yes. There is a Renegade Brewing in either New Zealand or Australia. So I would ask if you can go there. We're kind of cool because we've been messaging on Instagram, but like it would be cool if you popped up there and saw the other Renegade Brewing. No relation to us, but
I will definitely look into that and see what I can find. Yes, 100%. Awesome. I need to add that Wendy is also going to see Adrian of Punta Sur, who we talked to in episode 367. So that is going to be kind of awesome. Catch up. The other thing that I had, so Australia, and I will be in New Zealand I will be in Hamilton and Auckland, New Zealand. Hamilton is where Brewocracy, Greg, who was recently on as a brew judge. I'll be visiting his brewery and with him. But also next week I will be in Brownsburg, Indiana, because that's very much where I live, at Books and Brews, where Schlafly from episode 370 is having a tap takeover. So I, first of all, want to claim credit for that tap takeover, but second of all, we'll be there getting some stuff to record, to release through the month of June, because Wendy and I, as you have just heard, will be pretty unavailable. Start doing cool stuff. Now I have to add visiting a Renegade Brewing either in Australia or New Zealand while I'm down there.
99% sure it's New Zealand, but that's good that you're going there as well.
And I love it. So there's a good chance Greg knows about them. I will have to ask him and see what I can find.
Cool.
Excellent. We are working on some shows for July. We will see what we've got. June will be pre-recorded stuff. They will definitely show up in the podcast feed. We will see how technology works out throughout the month of June, whether we can get them out to YouTube and Facebook, but definitely in the podcast feed.
Can you just send me the link once you got it?
I will send you, definitely, for this one. For other things, yes, 100%. You can always find these things out on betterondraft.com, and we are Better on Draft on, we don't say this often enough, do we, Wendy? We are Better Draft on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever the things are out there. Kick for Twitch for sure. I saw people messaging us from Twitch today. Like, we are all the places. We are Better on Draft. So 100% we are out there. We will try to get our stuff in June out to that stuff, but otherwise this show will go out to those platforms as we have it available.
I just want to say thank you to both of you for having me. You know, it's kind of a fun thing to do on a Friday night, and I appreciate you guys taking the time.
You have been wonderful. I'm sorry that we have kept you for an hour and 20 minutes.
It's all good.
But whatever you think of your beer, we think it's Better on Draft.
Cheers.
Love that. Cheers, guys.